Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alan Anthony from Phone Tech at Work, and this is my final review of the TCL 10 Pro. So let's start the video. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Pow. Alright guys, so the TCL 10 Pro. If you guys are watching this video, you're probably curious about this device because you never had a TCL phone, just like me. I never had a TCL phone. I did not review the TCL 10L, but the one that I have in front of me is the TCL 10 Pro. Now I have been using this for about 8 days now. I've had a SIM card in it, so I can tell you exactly how I feel, things I love and things I hate about this device. Let me put that over to the side so you guys can see the beautiful back. They're pricing this at $450. Now a lot of people might have a problem with that because after taxes it'll be about $500. Now there's so many positives about this device, so I'll just start off with the negatives because you guys probably want to know what's wrong with the phone. You don't want to hear, saying all the positives yet, but you know what, frick it. Let's go with the negatives first. So the negatives is that front-facing video does not look great on this phone. If you guys are looking for a selfie vlogging phone, this is definitely not the one for you. As far as the camera itself, front-facing camera does do some great shots, very hit or miss. Sometimes I have overblown background, sometimes it just looks like it's too contrasty, but that all depends on the way you have your display, which is another thing that we have to talk about. Another negative for me is that they went with the 600 series when it comes to this phone. That is a decent processor. It is good for battery as well, so it is definitely should have great battery life, which it actually does. But if they would have went with an older flagship processor like the 845, like the 855, I think the conversation about the performance would not even be talked about, because those processors have been tried and true and they definitely perform great when it comes to being for any type of phone that's out right now. As far as the 600 series, I think it's good. I would have preferred they went with the 800 series or even a 700 series. There's so many phones out there like the Samsung A series that have the 700 series. There's some Moto phones that have it as well. So for the price tag, I would have expected at least a 700 series. But as far as the battery life and the performance, the phone performs very well for the 600 series. One thing that I did actually want to talk about was the TCL logo. I feel like it's a little bit out of place and it should be a little bit more further down. Maybe they can make like a sub brand and have like a totally new logo, but I do understand that they do have a brand that they built for years, so having the TCL logo probably is the best way to bring customers, because they know that they make tons of TVs that are great quality TVs and they last for a very long time. As you can see from the bottom left right there, I do have their wireless buds as well that they do have for a great price, but I just put that for the video. They sound okay. So another negative is that there are no cases for this phone. Now this phone is not officially out yet when I am recording this video. It is coming to Amazon on May 19th 2020, and it will come to Best Buy and Walmart at a future date, so just stay tuned for that. But as far as cases, you do get a clear one that actually comes in a case, which the quality is really not that great at all, but it will come. And hopefully more manufacturers will make more cases for the TCL 10 Pro and for the TCL 10L, which comes in at a $250 price point. And they also have a TCL 10 Pro 5G if you're really desperate for that 5G and those fast speeds. But this phone is unlocked and it does work for multiple carriers and for GSM carriers as well. So as far as the specs, you have a 6.47-inch full HD plus display, and it is AMOLED as well, and it does have the capability of HDR10. 64 megapixel is the main sensor, 128 gigabyte of internal memory, which is an absolute plus. I'm so glad that they didn't go with 32 or 64. Nowadays you need 128 because all these apps, all these games are just so big. 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now that right there is a huge thing. A lot of these phones that are priced at that $350 mark, they usually have only 4 gigabytes of RAM. This one has 6 gigabytes of RAM, so you should have no problem when it comes to performance. Battery life, like I said, it has a 4500 milliamp battery, so this thing will last all day, like it's been lasting all day for myself. Big positives about the TCL 10 Pro. the fact that it has all these cameras. So you have a wide angle camera, you have a macro sensor that is at 5 megapixels, and it does perform very well. The details that you could get from that macro lens is astounding. The rear facing camera does do a great job. Sometimes it's a little bit hit or miss sometimes, but you can get a great shot for social media when it comes to the rear facing cameras. Now, as far as videos as well, it seems like the stabilization on this, now it doesn't have OIS, but it has the electronic image stabilization. The EIS does perform very well, and if you guys haven't checked out my videos, you guys could check on the channel. The stabilization on this is very, very good. Now the portrait mode, I haven't really tried it because I prefer like the natural portrait mode that you just put the phone a little bit more back, and it takes a great shot that has like the natural bokeh, but it does perform very well. I'm a huge fan of the wide angle lens and a huge fan of the macro lens. The main sensor is pretty good as well. So camera wise, for the front, they did a really great job. The front video, not too much, and that's something that I said in my negatives. But it does have an IR blaster, guys. So if you guys haven't had an IR blaster in the phone, that's probably because you probably had no money when they had those phones out. But they definitely brought it back, and hopefully more companies will bring it back. Now, the headphone jack is definitely a plus as well. They should have put it on the bottom, but they probably had no room because there's a lot going on here. The SIM tray. So you have to use the one that the tool that was in the box, because it's a very long SIM tray. I did have a similar issue when I had the new mobile G3 phone. It's a really long SIM tray, so you can't just use any one that's from Apple or from like your older device as well. So you need the one that comes in a box. But just the fact you get a headphone jack is a plus. They probably have no room on the bottom, so they put it on the top, but I kind of prefer it on the bottom so the wire doesn't get in the way when you're listening to music, and then you have to wrap it around the bottom, whatever. So you have to limit, I'm saying, how much you have of your wire to actually go around. So you have a smart key. Not many phones have a dedicated smart key that's customizable. The fact that you can customize this is very cool. Now, the way that I have it for my single press, I have for the camera, right? And for my double click, I have it for video. This is the one I really like. When you do your long press, it takes the photo automatically. So there's no hesitation. You saw the lag, not that much, but it takes the photo automatically. Boom. Just like that. And you see how it just took the photo? TCL 10 Pro, right there on the bottom. You are able to take that off. It does come on. When you turn on your device, it does come with that little thing on the bottom there, which I prefer, so then everyone knows what type of phone took it. I bet you if anything, I bet you if Apple put that little signature on the bottom, everybody will be doing the same exact thing. The on-display fingerprint scanner for $450, it's a plus as well. Now, it does perform good, but the one thing that I really like is the face unlock. So you have face unlock on this, and it's very, very fast, guys. You don't even have time to even put in your fingerprint, but if you're a little bit scared about the face unlock, how safe it is, you could definitely go with the in-display fingerprint scanner. The quality of the screen, is it crispy? Is it vibrant? As you guys can see from the front here, I do have a cool looking wallpaper there, so it might look like it's super saturated. It is saturated. But you are able to change that when it comes into settings. So you just go into settings right here, and then you go into NXTVISION, and you are able to change that. So you could do the vivid, screen, gentle, standard, and you have the standard where you're able to adjust it for yourself. You could do your HDR, and you can also do reading mode as well. So you have a whole bunch of options when it comes to this phone. This is one of the reasons why I like this phone. There's so many things that you could do on it, and it's not so messy like the way it is with the older Samsung, with the LGs, with like so many different Android phones that just can't put this together. This is basically stock Android, as you can see, and I prefer stock Android. That's the reason why I love Pixels, and I love the fact iPhones is just so much easier and so much easy to go around. When it comes to the app drawer, you're actually able to customize your app drawer. You You can add them here. You can do a whole bunch of different stuff. I think that there's a few launchers that do this, but to just get it out the box is a plus for me as well. Alright, so one thing that has been brought to my attention is the statement that TCL have made regarding the updates. They made a statement that they sent out to the press that it will only be supported for up to a year. Now that's talking about the main OS update. So you have your Android 9, your Android 10, your Android 11. This phone will get Android 11, right? Now as far as the security updates, that hasn't been told yet, but I am sure that they will update this phone. They are a big company, and hopefully they will update it when it comes to security updates. That's all I gotta say about the update situation. Alright, so one thing I really like is the always on display. Now you can't see because it keeps on showing, so let me get my head on the picture. You're able to actually change this, and when you change it, you just gotta go to display, and there's a whole bunch of different options here. Just the options, like I keep telling you, the notification light. Someone asked me in the comments, what does the notification light do? Basically, when you get a notification, it'll pop up a little light that goes all the way around. It's pretty cool, especially when it's dark. You can see it. It's very cool. I've seen phones that only have like, like one side will do it as well, but the whole entire screen will light up. Let me know down in the comment below who else does that. But as far as the always on display, you could change it. You could pick your different style, and I prefer it, the one that is currently on. This one looks pretty cool as well, but I prefer it for that one just because of how it does, just like so. So call quality on this device, a lot of people have been asking me how's the call quality. Everything sounds perfect. I'm getting my full LTE bars. If it had 5G, if they would have put 5G on this phone for $450, that would have been another big thing. But they didn't, and they saved that for the more premium model that they're coming out soon. But as far as the call quality, is definitely on point. Single firing speaker. That's another thing that I've been hearing about. People have been complaining about. I think that the speakers sound fine to me. Would have been amazing to have it on the front as well. They do have an earpiece that's kind of hidden right there, so why not? But I think it sounds okay. It's not like the loudest in the room, but you could definitely hear it if you turn it all the way up, especially in a quiet room. There's tons of phones out there that do not have a loud speaker at all. This one sounds okay, not tinny at all, maybe just in between. So you'll see it when you pick up the phone. But overall, the TCL 10 Pro, after almost a week, I'm feeling the phone. I think if they would have went with a higher processor, I think the price tag of $450 would be justified, or even the 700 series, which is a very capable processor. But the fact that they went with 600, it kind of throws off a lot of people. But especially if you have the Pro name in there, by the way. Let me just add that. But is this phone a good phone? That's the reason why you're looking at this video. That's the reason why you've made it this far. I'm way past 11-12 minutes, but this phone is a good phone. I do have my SIM card in there. This is not a review where I reviewed on Wi-Fi. I have been using this. Hopefully they'll have more cases. Hopefully they'll produce better things in the upcoming future when it comes to this. Hopefully they watch this video and they see what I have to say about it. Design wise, I think it's a beautiful phone. It reminds me of a OnePlus. I've been telling people that it's kind of like the OnePlus Junior, but I think it's a great phone. $450, maybe you drop it down $50, I think it'll be a no conversation about price tag there. So if you guys like this video, hit it with a thumbs up, and follow Phone Tech at Work for more videos like this of TCL products and more tech to come. Peace and love. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.